Ever since I was a kid, I was always been in juvie, I've always been in jail. And I would remember being in jail and I remember feeling him kick, you know what I mean? And I was just so mad. And I was just like, oh, now I have to get sober because of you. Like, you're gonna ruin my whole life. But God, spoke to me, and God's like, Nika, regardless if you want to get sober or not, you need to get sober for that little baby. And I, started thinking, and I was like, that's true. I was born into a very abusive family. As a little girl, I remember seeing a lot and going through a lot. I don't think any kid should have went through what I went through. I started being on drugs when I was 11 years old. My mom used to just wake me up for my sleep, and she used to like beat me up, you know what I mean? Because she was mad because she couldn't find her cigarettes. I remember coming home from school, and it was like I was so scared to come home from school because I just knew when I came home my mom wasn't gonna either my mom was gonna be mad or my mom wasn't gonna be there. In my head I thought that all my friends went through that, but the friends that didn't go through that, I would get jealous. I don't even know how to explain it. Like I just wanted to be set free. I was raped when I was 9 years old. I was raped. He came to the room and he covered my mouth and he had raped me. I had to grow up at a very young age. When I was 14 years old, I got emancipated because all the abuse in my family. My mom signed off her rights to me to this guy, and he was like 3 times my age. I was 14 and he was 28, and she signed off my rights to him so that way we could get married and stuff. And I ended up getting pregnant, and I was still doing drugs. I prayed to God and I told God, if you let my baby girl be born, clean off of drugs, nothing in her system, I will get sober. And it's crazy because when she was born, nothing was traced in her system at all. And it's crazy because I was doing a lot of pills. And that's my first encounter with God. But I didn't get sober. So I think because I didn't get sober, I lost her. I was on the streets. I became homeless, and I remember my mom got custody of my daughter, but my mom was also dying from cirrhosis at the time, and she didn't tell me about it. She wasn't the mother that anybody wants. But through all of that, I still loved her so much, you know what I mean? Like, it was really hard when she died. It was hard when she died. About a year ago, before I came to here, I was pregnant with my son, and I was doing a lot of drugs. I remember I was doing every single kind of drug you could possibly think of. But God, spoke to me, and God's like, Nika, regardless if you want to get sober or not, you need to get sober for that little baby. And I, started thinking, and I was like, that's true. So I checked myself into Aspen Center, the rehab here in Denver. So a girl that was here at Open Door Ministries, she told me about it. And she said, it's a program, it's, a Christian community, and, it's a place for mothers with their, for single mothers. And I prayed to God and I told God, if this is where you want me to go, then lead me in that direction. And the next day I got a call back from Bailey and Jamie saying that I got accepted, and I'm like, what? And everyone was just looking at me like, congratulations, like you got in. And I was like, I just have a feeling this is going to change my life. And when I had my first encounter with God, then I was like, yes, God is real. And then my relationship with him just started becoming more and more deep. Like there was signs that he was giving me all along, just telling me like, Nika, you are my child, but I was just ignoring every single one of them. But now it's just so crazy, like, because every time God talks to me, I listen. Before I would never go to God for anything, and now I go to him for everything. The biggest change I've seen, the way I think. Before I was very mean, I was very ugly, and now I think just the way I think now, like I'm more loving, I have more sympathy for people. Yeah, I didn't have a name for my son his whole pregnancy because I wasn't planning on keeping him. But when he was born, I was taking a nap and I was sleeping, and in my dream, I had a dream that I was holding a baby, and I said, hey, my Azariah baby. And I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna name him Azariah.